Just one thing I do want to say, the one Yom Kippur stands out in my mind, but not because of the Yom Kippur part of it, but because of what happened after Yom Kippur. And in Tavshin Chav Gimel was 150 years since the passing of the Alter Rebbe, and the Rebbe made special note of that on every occasion he could. Shanas, the special year of 150 years since the passing of the Alter Rebbe, who was passed on Tavshin in Kufay Gimel, and it was 150 years in Tavshin Chav Gimel, and it was after Maamer, and I was in 770. I lived not far away, and I was downstairs, and the Rebbe used to eat upstairs. Actually, for all the meals on Yontif, and I didn't go into that now because it's with every Yontif, but he would eat upstairs in the room of the previous Rebbe on Motzei Yom Kippur. The Rebbe had been eating upstairs, and there were very, very, very few people in 770, very few people. And I'd been upstairs, and I came downstairs, and I stood by the Rebbe's office with a friend of mine. I was standing there. And this was Motzei Yom Kippur, Tavshin Chav Daled. This was in the 150th year, which had begun earlier in Tavshin Chav Gimel. And suddenly, the Rebbe walked out of his room and began to walk towards the Beis HaMedrash. And my friend who was with me, a good friend of mine, Yitzchak Meir Garavi, should live and be well, turned to me and whispered to me, "Where's the Rebbe going?" And I whispered back to him, I said, "I don't know. Wherever he goes, I'm going." And the Rebbe, if you know 770, did not walk into the Beis HaMedrash. He made the left turn and he walked into the second door, if you know what I mean. He came in by the back way. He used to come sometimes to daven. He would come in sometimes by that entrance on Shabbos. And he came in and he walked in the Beis HaMedrash. And so in that Beis HaMedrash, they had a minyan there on Yom Kippur. They had a full minyan there on Yom Kippur. And after that minyan, when it finished, somebody gave after Havdalah, somebody gave food, and the Rebbe had a place there because he would farbring there. So he used to farbring there. That was a place he farbringed. And that place where he farbring was not set up, obviously, but there was a bench there, and there was a table with a tablecloth. As people had eaten herring and cake and had soda and pop after Yom Kippur. In other words, the table was full of everything, of all eaten food. Followed the Rebbe squeezed himself into the bench. I'm standing next to the Rebbe. The Rebbe sat down and began to say a Maamar. And probably in the room are not more than 4, 5, 6 people. There was no niggin before, there was no melody before. The Rebbe didn't say anything. The Rebbe closed his eyes and did what he does with the handkerchief, and he took the tablecloth and pulled it over his hand and said a Maamar. And I'm sitting right next to him. And I have to tell you the truth. I thought maybe that I had my soul had left somehow, and I couldn't believe I was on this world. I'm sitting next to the Rebbe, saying a Maamar, and I'm the only 3 or 4 people there.
What's the Divrei Maschal of the Maamar?
The Divrei HaMaschal of the Maamar is written, but it was a Yom Kippur theme. And Bayom Hazer, the Torah Lefnechem. They spoke about the Indian of the Torah that we come to, the high level we come to, through the day of Yom Kippur.
Who wrote it down later?
There were a few people who were there, people did. Within a few minutes, people came within a few minutes, and the first words, the first sentences, I certainly helped out in that. They were able to piece it together. But there is a Hanacha. They do have a copy of that Maamar. How exact it is, I don't know. But actually, within minutes, there were people there, and they do have that Maamar in writing. Although, obviously, a good part of it may not be exactly as it is, but I can tell you that when the Rebbe was speaking, I was trying to come to my senses, trying to tell myself whether I really am here or not, whether this is really happening.